will be going through a couple of recent crime news articles, and we'll talk about those cases. And in the background, to set the mood and take away from some of the grimness of the topics, I will be mindlessly coloring and doodling in the background. So as always, if this combination of sounds and visuals help you, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment before you fall asleep. Also, as you may know, my channel is not monetized, so if you want to support me and my videos, please check out my Patreon. I also post more videos there, and some of the ASMR videos are more personal, like late night whisperings and doing my nails and stuff like that. But right now, I suggest that if you want to relax or fall asleep, that you lay back, relax, maybe even close your eyes. There's nothing here to look at really, and just listen. Also, sorry if you can hear the weirdness in my voice. I don't know if I'm catching a virus or it's just the pollution in the air. But ever since I woke up, it's been a few hours, but I haven't fully gotten back my voice. Maybe it's not noticeable in whispering, but it is very strained. So excuse me. But anyway, let's see. What's the first article that I have here for us tonight? It is from a website called weartv.com, where news it's called. It's for ABC, and this article is truly horrifying. I don't know what is wrong with our children, but there is a lot of things going wrong in the world. So we are hearing more and more of these sorts of news every day amongst our 13, 14, 15-year-olds. I don't think it was happening as often as now before, like children doing vicious crimes. It used to be unheard of, but these days I'm not so sure about that. So this article is titled "Two Teens Charged in Brutal Murder of 14-year-old Girl in Santa Rosa County." This article was published on December 4, 2025, and it says, so I guess Santa Rosa County is in Florida, so this happened in Florida. It says Pace, P-A-C-E. Is that a city? Is that an area in this county? Two Pace teens are behind bars, accused of brutally murdering a 14-year-old girl. 16-year-old Gabrielle Williams and 14-year-old Kimari Levins. I'm going to spell Kimahri, Kimari, S are both. So there is a 16-year-old boy, Gabriel, and a 14-year-old named Kimari, and they are both charged with the first-degree premeditated murder of this other 14-year-old girl. At 14-year-old, I was reading Goosebumps, and I thought the world only existed in my brain. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just don't understand how these children think it. That I get. They think it, but then they start planning it actually. They go through with it. They have no fear at all of getting caught. They get caught, they show no emotions. They don't care that their whole life is over. Not only that, they don't care about their victim. I mean that maybe you could understand. They are selfish people and they take someone else's life. But it is absolutely horrifying when these perpetrators don't even care about their own lives. It's another level, especially in this case when they are 14 and 16. How horrible. The article continues. The victim was identified as 14-year-old Danica Troy, D-A-N-I-K-A, Danica, T-R-O-Y, Troy. Her poor mother reported her missing last Monday. One day later, her worst nightmares came true, and her daughter's body was found. One of the biggest questions still remains unanswered, and that is, of course, why? And isn't that often left unanswered? It says, according to the arrest report, a witness told deputies Blevins and Williams planned this attack. Danica Troy was found shot multiple times, and then she was set on fire on a walking path near Kimberly Road in Florida town. Unbelievable. Just absolutely unimaginable. A neighbor named Sue Petriche said, "It shocks me. It's always been so quiet here. And it's getting bad. It's terrifying, in fact." The crime scene tape is still up off of Kimberly Road. It was published a few days ago. Sheriff Bob Johnson says Danica Troy was lured here by these two boys. They said, "It's bad enough that you kill a 14-year-old. You're 14, you're 16, you shoot her multiple times and then you set her on fire." Yes, that is truly horrifying. And just out in the open, having no fear of repercussions is absolutely evil. It's like nothing is said in these two boys' brains. They have no responsibility over their actions, their emotions. They have no respect for their lives, other people's lives. Nothing. Just nothing goes on in their brains. shorter video tonight because it is really straining my sinuses to talk and whisper right now. It's been awful. The weather here has been absolutely horrible. I don't think we have had any day under 110, and that's what's called the, I don't know how much pollution is. What do you call that? Let me go and check it actually right now. There's a website called IQ Air. I'm here every day, and my city is here also every day. So right now it seems better actually. I don't see it. Where is it? It's not in the list. Let's check for it. Gonna search my city and see the air quality here right now. This is not right. It says 64. Last night it was 190. It was unhealthy. Everything looked smoky. But I guess we had a little rain today. But I was out yesterday when it wasn't this low. So I guess it is going to be rainy for a couple of days. That's good. Maybe the pollution, the pollutants get a little, washed out. Anyway, excuse my rambling while I was reading an article. Anyway, this article says that she was reported missing on Monday by her mother. And the mother told them that Danica took her electric scooter with her. Yes, that's how. Like electric scooter, my 10-year-old nephew has one. This is not something that adults have. Like we hear these stories, we hear 14, we hear 16. But we really have to think about it deeper. Imagine how you acted when you were 14. And how unnatural the teenagers are these days. Anyway, this says that on Tuesday last week, a man walking on the wooded path in Florida town found the body badly burned. How horrifying. Investigators say they identified her as Danica Troy, based on her shoes that she was wearing and the scooter that was found nearby. The arrest report says a witness told investigators that these two boys, Williams and Blevins, planned the murder. The report states Blevins told deputies he and Danica. Let me see, Blevins, which one was that? Was that Gabriel? No, that's the other boy. I think the 14-year-old. Let me check. I think the 14-year-old boy had something to do with Danica before. And he must have had a 16-year-old friend, and they got together and they planned to kill their friend, or their friend ex or something like that. What does it say? The report states Blevins told deputies he and Danica had a falling out on social media before Thanksgiving break, and he blocked her on social media. Deputies also interviewed Williams, who told investigators Danica Troy made comments that upset him. And maybe you should cry when you're upset. You Williams shared more with investigators, but that conversation was redacted from the report. The sheriff said they have been interviewed, but the motive that we are getting doesn't fit the forensics or any facts of the case. As for how the two got the gun, the sheriff says Williams stole it from his mother. So I guess Gabriel Williams is the 16-year-old boy, and the 14-year-old is the other guy. Johnson, the sheriff, says at this time no charges are being filed against the parents. Investigators are working to determine a motive. I can't even imagine how shocked and horrified the parents are. The parents of the perpetrators. I mean, we can imagine the victims' families. I mean, not really, but we understand their loss. They lost someone. But I really have no idea how the parents of these murderers feel like after. They must feel like a big, huge failure. And I mean, to some degree they surely are. There's no way that you have not seen any red flags in your 16-year-old boy capable of doing something like that, you know? You must have seen something. He didn't just get up one day and become evil. So you must have failed somewhere, unfortunately. Anyway, the article says investigators are working to determine a motive. What is a motive? It really doesn't matter. They said this is what major crimes calls a ground ball. The evidence points to them immediately. They took them into custody immediately. Now, unfortunately for the Troy family, they have to go through this. Both Blevins and Williams, the killers' families, are now in Santa Rosa. Not the families, the boys. Blevins and Williams are now in the Santa Rosa Juvenile Detention Center. The state attorney's office says it will present the case to a grand jury to determine if the two should be charged as adults. Surely. You're 16, you decide one day that your classmate, your friend, your ex-friend upset you. You had a fallout with a friend. You had a fight, you block each other on social media. And you start planning your murder. You steal your mother's gun. You shoot a 14-year-old girl. And then you set her on fire. Surely you should be charged as an adult. What do you think? The Santa Rosa County School District, what in the world, released a statement in response to the murder. Should we even read that? I think so. There are 4 paragraphs of this school district probably saying how sorry they are, how horrific it is, all the things we said. Yeah, they say that their hearts are with the family that have an unimaginable loss. And then they say they are the best, they say that they are cooperating and other stuff like that. Doesn't really matter what the school thinks. I want to see what was happening in their lives, with their families, and how they acted before. Like, you're telling me there was nothing going on with these 2 evil boys beforehand. They just one day went from 0 to 100. I mean, that is possible, but I don't think so. dangers that could be hugely prevented if the families, if the school realize what's going on with our teenagers, what type of media they are, what's the word they are exposed to every day, what type of people they look up to, what kind of content they enjoy and can't get enough of. Those are other red flags that need to be looked at by the families. These are all the things that, these are children. Again, 14. They were 13 last year. You know what I mean? 3 years ago, they were 10. That's a child, a 14-year-old. I guess the 16-year-old should have known better, but still, it's not that. They're still a child. But I don't think they have the brain of a child anymore. I think when we expose our children to horrifying content online, unrestricted, they will develop earlier, and they will develop horrifying thoughts and, fantasies that usually end up in really, really bad situations, and in this case, the worst of all. I just can't imagine what the families are going through, and I hope that they get some relief, either with justice, with God, with their faith in whatever that is. I hope that they get some comfort at the end of this tragedy. Alright, you guys, that is the end of this article. This was quite a shorter video. I will stop talking now, but for 5 more minutes I will be coloring in the background to make this video a little longer if you're still awake. But if you're asleep this far into this video, I hope that you are very lucid, in charge of your thoughts, in charge of your mind, and in charge of whatever it is that you see and feel in the dream. And I hope it is all full of peace, joy, and rest. Have a great night. Thank you so much for being here and for listening to me. And also, I will see you very soon. I will probably record a Patreon video right now, so check my Patreon at Retailer ASMR for extra content and support. I love all of you, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.